My name is Brian Razzaque, and I am the CEO of SocialToaster. My father was a physician, so from birth, I was basically, if not told, it was expected by everyone that I would become a doctor and I would take over my father's practice. So my whole life has been spent, had been spent all the way up through college that I'm going to be a doctor. So I actually have a degree in biology from Hopkins in addition to my computer science degree. I came here to Baltimore from Detroit because I was going to become a doctor and went to Hopkins for that reason. And the tipping point really for me, and I joke around, I say if I went to a different school, I probably would be a doctor. When you go to a school like Hopkins, it's very competitive. And the bio major particularly, it's a fairly large group. It's all graded on a curve. And I would have to work very hard to get a B, and realize that if I wanted A's in these classes, I'm going to have to dedicate 80 hours a week to studying just to be at that level. And in the meantime, I'd always loved computers, and but I never thought I could do anything with them. And so I started taking some CS classes for fun. And so here I'm taking these fun classes that I totally enjoyed. I'm acing every one of them with minimal effort. And on the other hand, I'm taking this bio stuff and I'm like, this is horrible, busting my tail to just get a B. I bring home a B, my dad would be like, that's not acceptable. And, I sort of, that was clue number one. Maybe I'm going down the wrong path. I told him, I said, Dad, I think maybe I should go into, more something with computers. And he said, after that happened, he called me up. He's like, I think you're right. So, that's how I ended up going down the path, and I started up the VMT in the dorm room that very summer. VMT, or Vision Multimedia Technologies, was my web development and web consulting firm that I founded actually all the way back in '98, and grew that up to be one of the largest web development firms in the region. And SocialToaster spun out of that as an idea that I had. It came up actually because of something I was doing at VMT, where one of the employees came to me one day. I published a blog post, and he said to me, hey Brian, would you do me a favor? Would you let me know that you've published to the blog? And so I smacked my head. I said, of course I should let my employees know that I've updated the blog. And I asked him, would you be willing to share the blog post to LinkedIn or Facebook? And he said, absolutely. So the next time I published the blog, I emailed everyone in the company. I said, would you guys read the article and please go share it on LinkedIn? And maybe 80% of them did it. Next time I published, I did the same thing. Maybe 20% of them did it. By the time I was beyond that, I was lucky if I get one or two people to share. And it occurred to me that every organization has these people that are absolutely willing to share content. They want to support it, but it's just was too painful. The process of sharing is too cumbersome, and you literally need to sort of spoon feed them what it is that you want them to do. So at the same time, sort of had this epiphany, was also looking into social media as a whole. A lot of our partners or ad agencies were saying, you're our tech company, what can you tell us about social media and technology that could make us stand out from the crowd? And sort of kind of realized that that it was possible to just string a bunch of technologies together where you could facilitate that sharing process, really sort of remove the friction from it, make it so people could share to a bunch of social networks, not just LinkedIn or not just Facebook, but share to all of them with a single click. And that in doing so, you could actually track the efficacy of what was happening. You could see who exactly shared, and you could see what the results were. And so that was sort of the genesis of SocialToaster. So initially started out as a seminar series telling people about how it was possible. And there was a ton of interest, but everyone would come up to me afterwards and say, this sounds great. We have no idea how to do what you're talking about. And so I realized that we could actually build a platform that made it essentially a turnkey solution. So launched SocialToaster as a product that would have been 2009 or so under the VMT umbrella. That was when we connected and kind of were talking about it. and piloted it with the hair cuttery was actually our first sort of client around the concept, and it proved successful with them. And so that kind of convinced me that maybe we were onto something that had some legs. So we went to South by Southwest in 2010 or so, and kind of had a booth. Didn't really have a real product at the time, but kind of came up with the name, showed up, came back with some just the most amazing leads and some, really prove the concept. And so that convinced me that we needed to set it up as its own company and see if we could make it a reality. So from 2010 until 2012, it ran as a standalone company, and basically I self-funded it. Did raise a little bit of friends and family money to also kind of get it off the ground. And then it was only after we raised our Series A in 2012 that I then sold VMT and focused all my attention on SocialToaster.